Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Ukrainian officials say at least 8 people have been killed after Russia once again stepped up rocket and missile attacks across the country. Here in Kyiv, firemen hosing smoking ruins with water and emergency workers rescuing people trapped under the rubble. The attacks came exactly 1 week after Russia unleashed its heaviest aerial bombardment of Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities since the start of the war, also during morning rush hour. There was no immediate word on casualties from the blasts. Ukraine said the Kyiv attacks used Iran-made suicide drones which fly to their target and detonate, which Russia has increasingly deployed in recent weeks. Ukraine's Deputy Interior Minister says 585 towns and villages across Ukraine are now without power as a result of Russian attacks over the past 24 hours. Footage has now emerged apparently showing Ukrainian national police officers using their assault rifles to shoot down a Russian drone. In the video, one of the officers is heard saying in Ukrainian, "Shoot if they are coming." Other officers are then heard shouting, "Here, here," right above, before multiple shots are fired. What looks like a drone then crashes nearby and explodes. The video has the watermark in Ukrainian patrol police, and a Ukrainian Interior Ministry advisor said an Iranian drone was shot down. The new UK Chancellor has ditched almost all of Prime Minister Liz Truss's tax cuts announced in the government's mini-budget 3 weeks ago.
Will more U-turns, say the Prime Minister, Chancellor?
Jeremy Hunt announced that roughly £45 billion of unfunded tax cuts had in just 3 weeks and 3 days seen a £32 billion reversal, marking perhaps the biggest U-turn in British economic history. Liz Truss tweeted that the announcement, which brings forward measures from an economic plan on the 31st of October, would chart a new course for growth.
Good morning. A central responsibility for any government is to do what's necessary for economic stability. Firstly, we will reverse almost all the tax measures announced in the growth plan 3 weeks ago that have not started parliamentary legislation. At a time when markets are rightly demanding commitment to sustainable public finances, it is not right to borrow to fund this tax cut.
Analysts say the decision is humiliating for the Prime Minister, who had been championing her economic policies for weeks.
It completely undermines her entire leadership platform. Jeremy Hunt has essentially taken up the mini-budget and basically ripped it to shreds, apart from 2 measures which were already in place.
Police in the British city of Manchester are investigating an incident involving a protester who appeared to be pulled inside the grounds of the Chinese consulate and beaten on Sunday. The incident took place during clashes at a pro-democracy demonstration outside the consulate, where banners and slogans against the ruling Chinese Communist Party and President Xi Jinping had been erected. Video showed several men from the consulate, some wearing helmets and protective vests, take down several banners, and during a heated confrontation with the protesters, they grabbed one man and dragged him into the consulate grounds. Police officers at the scene eventually stepped through the gate and pulled the man back out. Footage has emerged of a train crashing into a bus at a level crossing in the Netherlands. The bus appears to have been stuck on the tracks at Bergen op Zoom when the incident occurred. The bus had no passengers on board when the accident happened, and miraculously, no one was injured. And K-pop boy band BTS will go off on mandatory military service starting shortly with its oldest member. 29-year-old Jin has put off his service for as long as he can and faces the imminent prospect of a full stint, meaning nearly 2 years out of the public eye when he turns 30 in December. All other members will also serve the mandatory military duty according to their respective plans. All able-bodied men in South Korea, aged between 18 and 28, must serve in the military for between 18 to 21 months. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.